Hi, my name is Yvette Sanchez. I'm taking English 130125L, and today I'm going to walk you through my portfolio. So first I want to walk you through my literacy narrative and my draft. So this is my PowerPoint, and my draft helped me create an outline of what I expected to create. I explain the language I speak and how my language practices can be ethical or unethical. I also talked a little bit about my background and how reading and writing helped me to read, write, and even speak. Since I also talked about how I came from Mexico and I didn't know any English. So second, I want to show you my theory of writing investigative essay and supporting work. So this is the essay. Um, and I'm not gonna read it, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. So what I submitted as an essay was the impact that reading and writing have in society. I tried my best to give examples and explain why communication is the positive impact in society, meaning why communication is the key element of reading and writing. And the first source I included was from a TED Talk. The source was taught by a young girl's experience whose name was Priyanka. She shared stories from her childhood. She also gave examples of why reading and writing stories help her communicate, create thoughts, and connect to others writers. In the second in the second body paragraph, I included my opinion of why reading and writing is an essential part towards communication in society. For last, in the third body paragraph, the source is from a YouTube video. The video was narrated by Derek Hamilton, and he explained how he was convicted even though he wasn't guilty. I mean, it explains how he was convicted guilty to a murder he didn't commit. And he talked about how reading books and laws and about laws and writing about being innocent helped him communicate his innocence. All the examples I included helped me develop reasons for why reading and writing are important to society and why communication is the key element for reading and writing. I actually learned more about engaging inquiry and doing research and finding sources about my topic. And I think that if I didn't look up for any source, I would have felt in completing my essay. So the third thing that I want to show you is the Remix project, the Artifact Remix project, where I created a trailer. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm gonna play it. Let's see if it works. It doesn't. So since it doesn't work, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it. So this submission contains a project that shares knowledge about the key elements of reading and writing. I created a trailer where I included some videos answering the question of what is the positive impact of reading and writing in society. So this question is the same question I included in my essay, since the essay and the trailer connect. In the trailer, I was trying to share people's experience of why the impact of reading and writing is communication. I included some headlines before I incorporated short videos in order to explain what they would be about. Um, the reason why I made my choice of creating a trailer as a project was that I wanted it to grab people's attention as fast as possible, and what would allow me better to accomplish my goal than creating a trailer. So I want my purpose was to grab students' attention so they can know the importance of reading and writing. So many students are visual learners, and acquiring this information from something entertaining will allow them to keep the information. So lastly, I have two reflections. Um, I actually have three in here, but I'm gonna tell you what two of them are about. So this reflection here is about what I learned about my identity, and this one over here where I think good and bad ideas come from. So moving on to section C, what was hard for me was creating the trailer. So creating the trailer was hard because I didn't know what was expected. Although the feedback my peers gave me helped me better understand the expectations. What I learned about myself and my process with reading, writing, and learning is that practice does makes better, and I learned that I can do better when I create different drafts in order to improve my work as a whole. So for section D, the work that I'm most proud of is also my trailer. I'm proud of my trailer because creating it wasn't that easy. I had to go back to my research from the essay, and I also had to do new research in order to have the knowledge of how to create a trailer. What I learned in this process is that research has a big influence on my knowledge and my ability to create things. So for section E, what I would like for you to pay attention to as you evaluate my portfolio is the examples that I've been showing in the screen so you can have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. So moving on to question two, the writing process and revision test. What was my theory of writing essay like before revision? So the theory of writing essay did not include any information about the names of the books Priyanka created and a well-developed conclusion. So after I was able to read those feedbacks, I was able to include the the names of the stories, which is the Bucket List Detectives and Liana's Adventures in Wonderland Part 1. And mentioning that I was able to create a little bit more elaborated conclusion in here. So this is the conclusion where it says the aiming of the research is to discuss the role of reading in society that places great emphasis on information and communication technologies and to examine the place of reading of informational abilities among young people. Developing reading habits at an early age also engenders a love towards reading in many children. So reading and writing help us communicate with others in a way that we are able to express ourselves. So for section C, I have learned that drafting allows me to revise my work in a way that helps me improve my organization. So for section D, if I ever have to write an essay again, which I will incorporate my research, revisions, and drafting abilities to help me to better create my essay with all the components the essay is in need of. So moving on to question three, two meaningful things I learned. So the first one is how to do planning sheets. So this is the planning sheet you showed us, and before I used to create an outline of ideas, but since you showed us is my understanding development in this class by now is that when creating an outline, I have to know my purpose, my audience, and my how do you say it? And the details where I project the the details of what my project will look like for some. So for section D, I created an outline where I write the purpose of my trailer, the audience that I want to influence, and I even create details of what I'm expecting to create and show. So this is the outline I actually used to create my trailer. So for section E, this example demonstrated that I have learned because without this outline, I wouldn't have been able to know my audience nor be able to express my purpose. So this outline helped me accomplish my finished project, and it actually this was like the key element that helped me complete it. So for section E, whenever I have to create an essay or a project, I will incorporate this outline so I'm able to have a better understanding of what my purpose and audience is, or who they are, or I mean what who I expect them to be, and so I'm able to have an idea of what I want to create. So the second impactful and meaningful thing that I learned is how to give proper feedback. I used to give weak feedback where it seemed that I didn't care, and by so before your class, I didn't know how to give feedback. I always gave weak feedback. So after your class, my understanding in giving feedback got better, because I now know that my feedback needs to contain proper language usage, where I tell all the positive and negative points from from what I'm reading or seeing, watching, whatever it is. I also have to include an argument, meaning that I can tell the message, clarity and style, meaning that if the artifact was clear to me, and design design, meaning if the design affects the overall artifact, and lastly, execution, if the document is done well or if it looks kind of like messy. So these two are examples of feedback I gave, where one of the girls didn't know what was expected or what app to use. So these are the examples. So I'm gonna try to read them fast because I see I don't have enough time left. So I said, I'm sorry not to be able to provide any feedback for how you can line up your voice in the iMovie app, but there is an app you could use to create a more smooth video. I usually use this app to make TikToks and it allows me to put videos together. You can also choose which videos you want to have a sound and which ones you don't. And you can also have a video playing while another sound is playing. So that app is my best advice for you to line up your voice. The app is called Splice. I honestly didn't understand the part where you included a picture with the lyrics, but the videos and everything else was fine. So for the second girl, I responded, Hi Lindsay, I'm not able to give you that many feedback since you don't have a draft. Although with the planning that you provided, I can tell you have a good topic. And I think you should include pictures and videos that refer to your topic and the message you will try to convey, and you can create a video in the iMovie app or Splice app. So in these examples, you can see that I was able to demonstrate the way how to give proper feedback, where I answer questions and where I give my own opinion and what improvement the project needs. So now I know that in the future I will be able to provide proper feedback where I talk about the positive and negative elements of the draft. And next time I need to give feedback, I will include clarity for the improvements of the work. So this is it for my portfolio. If you have any questions, any concerns, everything I said you can find in any of these tabs, and my outline is in the final reflection. I think you already know everything is in here or in the other tabs. Um, so this is it, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.